I remember the first time my daughter took the first step. She was about year and a half old. It was one of those usual days. She was playing on the floor, trying to grab a toy which was just a crawling distance away. But that day, something different happened. She tried to stand on her little leg, wobbled, adjusted, and took the first step, the very first step of her life, followed by another. She stumbled after that, but that moment was magic. Not because she could reach the toy, but the first step that she took, and that laid the foundation of all the future steps. And every time I speak with founders who are in early stage of their journey, this moment keeps on going in my mind. A lot of them are looking forward to valuations, revenue, funding. And in this race of these milestones, some of the time the first step is often limited to launch MVP, build a marketing and sales engine, seed funding. And that's a disaster recipe. The real core is the value, what you bring to the society. What is the pain point that your product addresses? How does it make someone's life better? And that's the point you think about value addition. And when you think about value addition, the valuation comes. Imagine you're a founder with a brilliant idea, but zero market presence. What is the first step that you take? Build websites, social channels, or an AI based beautiful funnel approach? Not really. All you need is the human conversation, the first conversation with someone who might need your product. Let's say you have built a product for human resource professionals, a SaaS product. Identify few HR leaders, connect with them over LinkedIn, industry conferences, communities, and ask for genuine feedback. Now, the keywords here are ask, and other hidden keyword is help. As long as your intentions are clear that you're asking for genuine feedback and inputs on something that you have built or the vision that you visualize, people will come forward and help you. However, if you try to make a sale or a sales pitch, you will not find anyone around. So take that first step, ask for help. We at Netrodyne, and I was talking to one of our co-founders very recently, shared that during the early stage of our journey, when we were building AI, road safety and driver safety platforms, we started interacting with the fleet owners, the small fleet owners. Showed them the product, the value it brings in, got their feedback, and see how it works. We also got to interact with the drivers who are the actual users of the technology. While all of this helped evolve the product, I can tell you that it also helped get us our first few customers without spending a buck on sales and marketing. Magic, isn't it? Now, with this, you will get a first few customers. How do you scale? What is the first step you take to scale? Now, at this point, campaigns, automation, top of the funnel activities, all of this will lure you. But you have got limited resources, limited budgets, limited skills. And at this point, PR is your best friend, public relations, the most underutilized and yet impactful branding channel. If you remember, you might have read some article about some product or company in the newspaper, or reviews about some product on some website. Does it not influence you more versus a self-promotion? And that is the power of endorsement, because when you get endorsements, you will realize that your inbound engine is kicking in. Then how do you get endorsements? Share stories, share learnings. You have got handful customers with you already. Talk about their journey. How does your product and solution help them? what impact is it making in their lives or their extended stakeholders' lives. These are the real stories which will get you the earned media coverage. And at this point, eventually when you start building all of this, you will build your personal brand as well. And that's another milestone. Why? In this noisy environment, people connect with people, human versus human. They don't like to connect with websites or LinkedIn company channels or anything of that sort. They want to interact with real humans. And at this point, AI can be your enabler. Whether you're building website, building app for your business, understanding customer journeys, all of this AI can do. But here's the thing. AI is not your voice, it's your amplifier. The real stories have to come from you. The soul, the value, the story have to come from you. Because no AI tool can live or think about the journey that you have had. The joy of the first customer call, the frustration of the 10th product bug, the joy of getting the first customer PO. Those are the moments that you have lived, not anyone else. Those are the moments that you have survived, not anyone else. So keep authenticity as the core of everything that you do, because if you do that, you would realize that your personal brand, your endorsements have just increased. And here I can think of a great example, Perplexity. All of us have heard about that brand. But do you know, this is just about 3 years old brand, and their founders did not take the traditional GTM approach. They were in the field, interacting with customers, interacting with partners, sharing stories, and that got them the early endorsements, that got them the user advocacy. And every time I learn about these new age companies, it is making me think what I learned during my MBA days. The 4 P's of marketing: product, price, place, promotion, I think are completely changing. The next 4 P's could be pain. It's not about your product, it's about the pain that it addresses. PR and personal branding. It's not about running paid ads, it's about earning endorsements. Third, partnerships. You can't scale without partnerships. Going back to the example of Perplexity, they had a very different idea. They connected with telecom providers. All of us in India can use Perplexity Pro without paying anything as long as we are the Airtel customers. That's a disruption. Fourth, personification. Now, everything that you talk about externally or any media platform has to be humanized, that can be trusted. Because if you do that, you earn authenticity, you earn credibility in the market. Now, when I look back at my daughter's first step, I realized that her goal was not to run, not to walk, but to take that first step. And founders live this moment every day. Every time they ask for feedback, every time they share their story, every time they walk up in a room and say, hey, this is what I built, what do you feel? And these are not the steps which are captured as a milestone in the spreadsheet, but they provide the foundation to those. So, if you're building a product or have a great idea and not sure what traction you will get, waiting for the momentum, here's my question for you. What is the first step that you have taken? Have you stood up as a founder and said, yes, I want to add value to the society. I want to make a difference. I am okay to share my stories, because if you do and continue doing it, your 10th, 100th, 500th step will just take care of themselves. And one fine day, someone from the crowd will stand up and say, I took my first step because of what you shared. and that will be the real success. Thank you very much.